Hello! This video is a little bit different than my usual ones. Sentry, where I work on developer infrastructure, hosts a monthly sort of demo show and tell. And for this month, I submitted 3 different videos and got approval that I could put them up on my channel. So I wanted to showcase some of the stuff that I actually do at work. But anyway, I'll run those 3 videos now. And today we are talking about the brand new internal pypi index. Now I say internal, but it's publicly accessible, which means that our contributors benefit from this as well. Now, what is our pypi index? It is pre-built packages for both of the platforms or both of the architectures that we care about, x86 64 and ARM64, for both of the operating systems we care about, Linux and macOS, and for the 3 Python versions that we care about, 3.8, 3.9, and 3.10. Now, for example, if we look at Psycho PG2 binary, which is the Postgres bindings for Python, you'll notice that for a Python version, there are 4 wheels here. A wheel is basically zipped install state, so you just unzip to install it, rather than running arbitrary builds or all sorts of other stuff. And we have this all without being extorted for money. Now, Chad paid them anyway, so that's fine. Now, what does this do? For Sentry CI, this setup Sentry env step is now 30 to 40 seconds faster, and this is basically the first step of every job in Sentry CI. It also sped up this build by almost 40 minutes. Now, this is the ARM64 build for Snuba, and it no longer has to build stuff from source. This also sped up cold M1 install by about 7 minutes, and normal Python installs by about 15 to 20 seconds. So you should see slightly snappier development environments. It also allowed us to clean up this Docker file, which installed a whole bunch of dev headers, compiler toolchains, and other stuff. And in theory, this Docker image is now smaller and our deploys are slightly faster, although we didn't really measure that and it wasn't really one of our goals. Just a nice cleanup. And though it wasn't specifically the end goal of the project, it also allowed us to eliminate public pypi as a single point of failure in our deployment pipeline. This also makes us less susceptible to supply chain attacks, and we're no longer running setup.pys, which are essentially arbitrary code execution, and if people delete packages from public pypi, we don't care. Now you might be wondering, how do you add packages to this internal index? And that's where this git sentry/pypi repository comes from. Basically, there's this packages.ini, which lists all of our packages and extra metadata about how to build them if there's special build instructions. There's also a script which automates adding those packages for you, but it's also pretty easy to just add them directly. You can get a review from anyone in engineering, so get a review from one of your teammates that has context. Don't send your reviews to me. And if you need any special instructions, okay, maybe if you need special instructions, it might be a good idea to ask me about them. There's other settings for packages that are either broken or, need special build instructions. Anyway, that's the new internal pypi. Hopefully this was helpful. Ever making a pull request and open up this little dialog here and you're like, damn, I gotta delete the legalese again because I work here. Well, not anymore. Introducing another Sentry user script, along with the one which puts failures first and auto-clicks the silly SSO button. There is now I work here, damn it. You can install this real quickly. And now, when you make pull requests, no more legalese! Hello, Anthony again here from Dev Infra. And I wanted to show off a few cool code search tools that are useful when there are a bunch of repositories. One of them that I made myself, but I also wanted to show you a few other tools that are similar and more generally available. The first is SourceGraph, which is I actually know a bunch of people that work there, but SourceGraph is a code search tool for public repositories. You can also pay to have a private instance, which we don't have, but whatever. And in this case, I'm doing a little query to find outdated action/caches in Sentry. Now, this will only search public repos, so we won't see any of the private repos here, but it's a pretty useful tool, and I use this all the time for open source. There's also GitHub search tool, which also works fairly well. It will search private repositories if you're logged in, but it has some quirks. For instance, it won't search past the 1000th line in a file, for example. There's also GitHub's new code search, but some reason I'm not in the beta yet, so I can't use that either. But I wrote this tool a long time ago, almost 5 years ago now. Oh, well, this would be 5 years ago. Yeah, there we go. Called all-repos, and like the name says, it basically clones all your repos and then provides a bunch of querying and refactoring tools to automate some sweeping changes. I wanted to show you a quick little demo using the same query that we used here to basically find repositories that have this and then maybe even auto-fix them. So we're in all repos now. We're going to use all repos grep to find this string, and we're just going to only search GitHub workflows /star. That'll find our GitHub workflows that have this outdated cache thing. We can also just show the repos that we're looking for. So you can see these are the repos. And the best of all, we can use a little set expression to replace all these. And slash, so we're going to pipe action /cache at v12. We're going to replace that with action /cache at v3. And we're going to do that in GitHub workflows /star. And we're going to only look at these repos. We're going to dry run so that we don't actually do this. And we're going to set a commit message, upgrade action /cache. And I don't actually want to run all these, so let's only run the first 4. Sure, that sounds good. So this is going to clone those repositories, apply this set expression, and if it wasn't dry run, it would make pull requests for this automatically. And so if we run this, you'll see it pulls those down, does our little replace for us, and that's kind of the refactoring tool. You can also write your own custom refactors, so you're not limited to just set expressions. But anyway, that's all repos. I use this every day, and maybe it'll be useful for you too.